around us. If you've ever had personal belongings frequently go missing, felt like you were being watched, or have seen something move out of the corner of your eye, then you could have had a paranormal encounter without even realizing it. As these videos suggest, these ghostly encounters happen all of the time, seemingly at random. Chills. Number 11. Just around the corner. Two girls are sharing a meal while their mother lovingly watches. It looks like a nice family moment until the girl closest to the camera notices something in the other room and lets out a frightened whimper.
What? It's okay. I just turned off the lights, that's all.
Nobody else sees it, and they continue eating. Her sister tries to cheer the worried girl up, but she sees something again and starts to cry out of fear. Her mother asks her what's wrong, and all the girl can do is point to the other room. She stands up, no longer able to be near whatever it is that she sees, and then she runs to her mom for protection. Her sister is laughing hysterically at all of this, but then she turns around and sees it for herself.
Turn around. But you gotta listen to me. Turn around. Look at me. What's the matter?
The video ends shortly afterwards, but that's not all. Some YouTubers say that they can see the outline of a figure peering around the corner just moments before the video cuts out. It's supposed to appear on the right-hand side of the doorway. Let me know if you see anything. Number 10. The Kitchen Crashers. This apparent apparition wastes no time, completely demolishing the kitchen of a YouTuber named Chris Well. It starts at the far end of the room and makes its way forward. Things quiet down for a moment, and then the mayhem resumes, this time even closer to the camera. I will admit this video looks very realistic. I can't see any strings. And some of the things that happen, the flying chairs and would be very hard to fake. Besides, I don't know why someone would go to the dirt of trashing their own house just to do. It hardly seemed worth it. Chris Well claimed no idea what happened that night, very upset, and even went so far as to personally demand answers directly from the poltergeist itself, but of course to no avail. Number 9. The Ghost Doll. This doll is supposedly 100 years old and should have no way of moving by itself. Its owner has been feeling suspicious that it could be haunted, so they sat it on a chair in front of a camera and recorded it for 24 hours. Nothing happens for a while, but then if this was fake, then a fishing line should show up against the dark background. I'd definitely like to hear your thoughts on how this could be faked, or if you believe it's real. Number 8. The Store Orb. This footage comes from a convenience store in India, after it was captured by an old security camera late one night. An orb glows with bright intensity as it glides around the empty store at random. The next day, a group of workers watch the tapes in amazement. I normally don't include orb videos because they tend to look all the same to me, but this video looks a little different. First, it seems to match the same grainy footage of the CCTV system very well. Second, The sides of the orb appear to be shimmering in a random pattern that would be hard to fake. If anyone can translate what they are saying in this video, then please let me know. Also, tell me if it sounds like they are legitimately surprised or just acting. Number 7. Haunted Explorations. A YouTuber named Nugget Noggin is exploring an old abandoned home one evening somewhere in the deep south. He's been here only once before, and it gave him such a strange and foreboding feeling that he couldn't take it anymore and he had to leave. Now he's mustered up enough courage to come back and check out the rest of the house. He wants to get up to the second floor.
Alright, I got this little door here to keep the air from rising up, I reckon. I don't know. Could be somebody up there. Oh man, somebody's standing on it. Because I sure can't lift it up.
Much to his dismay, he finds a door has been laid over the top of the stairway so that nobody can get through. He tries to push on the horizontal door. One moment, it feels as if a heavy force is standing on top of it, and the next moment, the weight is suddenly gone, and Nugget Noggin can get upstairs. Some rooms give him the same weird feeling that made him flee before. He remembers that the front door was kicked in. Possibly someone broke in. Maybe a family was living here long ago and things did not end well for them.
Won't be able to sleep. Look, there's a light on in there. That's odd. There's a mirror. You know what time it is?
Nugget Noggin doesn't find much else and leaves. When he's reviewing the footage, however, he does notice what could be the face of a small girl. Take a look at this picture and tell me if it looks like anything paranormal to you. Number 6. Ghost Claws. The Mengier Hotel in San Antonio, Texas, claims to be one of the most haunted areas in the entire state, and there are plenty of videos to back up this statement. One of these videos involves a brother and sister who both suddenly get a strange feeling from the building and decide to start recording. They are exploring a very small and cramped area of the hotel. As they are discussing the possibilities out loud, the woman suddenly announces that she is extremely uncomfortable. You can't see it very well at first, but soon the camera zooms in and reveals 3 deep scratches along the woman's bare shoulder. They look fresh and sting badly. She says that she was simply sitting on the steps for just one moment, and the jagged marks appeared as soon as she stood up. Judging from this video, it looks as though she may have been literally cut by an angry ghost. Number 5. Ghost Guests. Here's another video from the mysterious Mengier Hotel. A woman is bored and giving a brief tour of her room when suddenly a paranormal presence makes itself known.
Before you pray, take a moment to get excited. Talk to someone who loves you more than you can imagine.
Nothing you've done could ever make him stop listening.
But he's more than a perfect listener. He has things to tell you.
Things that comfort.
Hello? Mike?
She waits for a tense moment, hoping that her boyfriend Mike is playing a prank nearby. When nobody answers her, she bravely opens the door and looks into the other room. Here's what she finds.
What? Nuh-uh. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Something has dumped all of her possessions onto the floor in a quick fit of rage. Well, it's possible that she could have done this herself. It's also quite bitter, especially when you consider that fires, missing things, and other strange happenings have become the norm over the years at this hotel, which was also built over the famous Alamo battle site. Number 4. Ryan. Avery is almost 2 years old. He's happily babbling away in the kitchen when his mother starts to feel a strange presence. This has happened a few times before, so she decides to start recording. Normally, her child is very quiet, but every once in a while, he will become very active and start having a conversation with someone who neither of his parents could see.
Who are you talking to?
Avery's mother finds this behavior perplexing, so she starts to ask him over and over who he is talking to. Finally, a fourth time, she gets a sinister reply.
Who are you talking to?
Her child looks over his shoulder, almost as if someone is there. When he turns his back to her, a raspy voice says, "Ryan." Listen again with the sound up if you don't hear it. I guess this voice could be coming from Avery, but it sounds like it's coming from someplace much closer, almost right next to the camera. It almost sounds like a slightly different voice than Avery's. Maybe Ryan is a ghostly pal who is looking to make a new friend. Number 3, kitchen mist. Is cooking in his kitchen when a black mist appears behind him. On the left side of your screen, the man has his back turned and does not seem to notice what's going on behind him. What's especially strange is how the black mist starts to back away from the door when the man heads into the other room. Once the homeowner is safely out of view, the mist turns very dark and quickly darts in front of the doorway. No clear explanation has ever been provided, though I'd like to hear yours. Whatever the thing is, it's never been recorded again since. Number 2, audio haunting. Okay, so this isn't a video per se, but it was too eerie to pass up. This was recorded around 10 years ago in a home in Philadelphia. The family kept hearing noises coming from the basement, so they decided to hire a paranormal team who placed a recorder down there and waited. Nothing happened for 3 days, and then at 3:12 a.m., they recorded this.
To chunk that up bad pipes,
The horrible recording continues to go on and on, seemingly forever. No video evidence was ever produced, but these possibly paranormal screams will continue to live on YouTube for years to come. Before we get to number 1, if you've ever been curious as to what I look like in real life, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT with underscores instead of spaces. I also have a Twitter at YT_chills where I post video updates. I'd really appreciate it if you followed me, and feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions or suggestions. If you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, then hit that subscribe button because I upload a new video every
We were still at work. We started getting these notifications from Ring. 2 guys trying to break in. I hit the siren on my alarm. Immediately, I got a call from Ring.
Would you like for us to go ahead and send the police?
And I'm like, absolutely. Ring, I stopped the break-in on my phone.
Chills. Number 10, Ghost Jail. A YouTuber named Junked Up Kitten and his friends are exploring an old county jail. They take a video camera with them so that they can make a parody of the Ghost Hunters television series. Little did the small group know that on this night they would accidentally capture actual evidence of real ghosts. Junked Up Kitten wanders around the property with the camera close to his face while narrating. He passes by an ordinary-looking jail cell window and doesn't think much of it at the time. When he goes back to review the footage later, he makes a startling discovery in the window. It looks like his parody show has turned out to be the real thing. From the other side of the glass, the colorless reflection of a man's face stares at him. You can clearly see the outline of the ghost's brow, nose, and empty eyes. His head is cocked to the right, almost as if he is sizing up a newcomer. His mouth appears to be a thin, expressionless line. If anything, Ghost has incredible timing. Ryan Junked Up Kitten says that he is looking for evidence of ghosts. One just happens to show up in the window. It's almost as if the ghost was trying to make its presence known. Perhaps it was even trying to get a hold of someone who could free it from its miserable cell. Number 9, Restaurant Spooks. Most people think of houses, hospitals, or jails when they think about ghost sightings, but some of the most unsuspecting of places can turn out to be the most haunted. This footage was taken in a popular food joint during broad daylight. A shadowy ghost suddenly materializes in a Subway restaurant. It starts out in the shape of a human and almost appears to be getting a table. When it gets back to its seat, the black shadow suddenly changes into a floating black blob of an orb. At this point, an employee or maybe a customer appears to see the ghost in the doorway. Whoever they are, they look stunned for a second and then quickly back away. The shadow orb pays no attention to the human as it floats up to the window and lingers there. It's almost as if it's taking a look at the outside world. The ghost starts to rise even higher and shrinks until it fully disappears back to wherever it came from. Number 8. The Ghost Stadium. Ghosts don't have to wait until nighttime before they can begin to haunt. As this Brazilian soccer footage shows, the crowd is happily cheering on their favorite team when suddenly a shadow ghost starts sprinting through all of them. Look closely and you'll notice how nobody tries to move out of the way. Even though a person is clearly running full speed at them, not a single person tries to pull their legs in or even bothers to look up. They are so concentrated on the game that they do not see, feel, or hear the ghost as it runs directly through the half-filled stadium in a straight line. Number 7. Fridge Ghost. A YouTuber named No Ghost Hunter grows tired of living in a haunted home and decides to videotape the disturbances for evidence. It's a little past midnight when he hears scratching noises, which soon progresses into running footsteps and loud bangs. These noises appear to be coming from all different areas of the home at once. The next day, his HD TV literally begins rocking violently from side to side all by itself. The rocking motion picks up speed until the corners of the TV are almost hitting the entertainment center, and it looks like the base is going to break. Then the TV starts rocking back and forth the other way. There is nobody behind the television, and there's no way they could have been using strings to do this. The day after, No Ghost Hunter finds a short video on his phone that he is 100% sure he did not make. The video is shot from the ground level of his kitchen. When you look at the reflection in the oven, you can see that nobody is holding the phone. The phone is literally floating in midair. Additional footage shows the TV shaking by itself again. This time, No Ghost Hunter is able to film behind the television to show that this is not a prank at all. He waves his hand above the television to show that there's no wires, and he even films underneath the base to show that there is no rod coming out from the entertainment center or anything like that. The lights cut out multiple times while he films. A few days later, he captures his refrigerator door slamming open and closed again and again. The brazen poltergeist leaves the door open to make sure its presence is fully known. Number 6. Watch from above. A group of British friends are playing catch in a courtyard when one of them sees something strange and points it out to the others. The camera follows his gaze and stops on a pale face looking at them from high above. The sick person looks at them for a second longer before silently slipping out of view. The group is now creeped out and wants to know who has been spying on them this whole time. They tell the property manager about the face they saw in the window, but she says that it's impossible. The room they are talking about has been locked and unoccupied for quite some time. The manager goes up with them to unlock the door and show them around. They try and find the person, but the place is completely empty. There's no way anyone could have been up there, yet the camera obviously says differently. The mysterious peeper has never been identified. Number 5. Old Pete's Ghost. There's a famous pub in Sydney, Australia called the Carlisle Castle Hotel. For years, this local watering hole has been haunted by the ghost of Old Pete, a bitter ex-employee who left the earth quite some time ago, but not his job. His ghostly antics have been caught on camera no less than 3 times. The first time Pete was caught on tape, he was helping a customer. The unsuspecting man opens the door to the cooler when Pete decides to grab 2 bottles of red wine for himself. His ghost grip must have not been too tight though, because both bottles go crashing to the floor. Looking at the footage, there's no way that the shelf gave out or anything like that. The bottles were thrown to the ground with deliberate force with no one nearby. Another incident occurred when the bar was full of witnesses. Everyone is happily enjoying themselves when a hanging red wine glass suddenly dislodges itself and smashes into the counter. Glass shards fly everywhere and the entire bar takes notice. Although this could have simply been a freak accident, what are the chances that, of all the red wine glasses, the one that's directly underneath the server happens to be the one to fall and break? The timing is almost too perfect to be a coincidence. Old Pete strikes again. The third and final tape reveals a glimpse of Old Pete himself. The bar is empty this time when the angry ghost suddenly materializes in front of the security camera. If you look closely, you can make out Old Pete's head at the bottom of the screen. He appears to be waving. Many other bartenders and customers all claim to have seen Old Pete for themselves in one way or another. It isn't uncommon for tapes to turn on by themselves, and the bartenders have seen what they can only describe as strange things while counting down their registers after close. To make this all even stranger, all of the bottles that go crashing to the floor are always high-end red wines. This just so happened to be Old Pete's favorite drink, at least when he was still with the living. Number 4, the church disturbance. Steve and Jake are wandering around the woods one summer night with a single goal in mind. They want to explore an abandoned local chapel that's rumored to be haunted. As they approach, they see that someone has written prayers and warnings all over the outside wall. The two friends instantly get a bad feeling about this adventure, but they swallow their fear and decide to press on. The rickety main door is locked, so they sneak around back. Already, they don't want to be here much longer. They had explored an old clock tower earlier in the day and were greatly disappointed by a lack of paranormal activity, but they could tell this church is way different. The place looked and felt quite haunted. They go up some wooden steps and enter through the back door. They shine their flashlights deep into the church's main assembly. There's rows and rows of wooden pews ahead of them. They pass by a podium and notice a piano. Then they head deeper inside. Now they find themselves inside of a small maintenance closet. They close the door behind them because they don't want anyone sneaking up on them. It feels like anyone could be watching them right now. They see a ladder to the left. Steve is about to climb it until Jake jokes that a body is going to fall down on him if he does, so he decides not to. That's when the piano starts to play from outside.
Oh no. Oh my god. Turn off the light. Listen.
Hell no, it's time to go. Yeah, get up out of there, Flip. Next call, it's time to get up out of here.
It's a soft and haunting piano melody that fills the church. Steve and Jake shut off their flashlights and keep recording. They debate whether or not they should go outside or stay here, where it's semi-safe. They realize that they can't spend the entire night trapped in the broom closet of a haunted church. So they turn their flashlights back on to see who is playing. Sitting at the piano at the far end of the room is a black hunched over phantom. They scream and shut the door. Jake cries for a bit, then they run away through the back exit. The music stops as soon as they leave the church. They were hoping that the music stopped because it was over, but in reality, it was because the ghost had gotten up from the piano to chase them. They run a good distance before pausing to look back into the dark scenery. It seems like they've gotten away, but then the ghost finds them and they run away screaming. The camera cuts off as they fall back deeper into the woods. At least one of them survived and uploaded this video onto YouTube, where it's remained for the past 10 years. Number 3, the teleporter. Two girls are alone in their house when one of them sees something in the doorway. Pause the video and you can see it's clearly the upper half of a young girl who is dressed in old-fashioned clothes from another time period. She is floating in midair as she curiously peeks in on the two children to see what they are doing. One of the girls still doesn't see the ghost. She shouts at something that's on television and accidentally startles the ghost away. The girl with the camera follows the ghost as it retreats. The ghost instantly teleports and stares at them from the top of the steps. The scared
Yeah, no. I don't know. I was ready to that.
We are CallMet. We make steel landscaping that are perfectly flexible, perfectly durable, so you can make your yard perfectly you.
These sea creature sightings caught on tape will make you never want to step foot in the water again. Some giant is swimming fast across Lake Okanagan, Canada. Scared girls run out of the house screaming. They stop only for a second to turn around from the street. They can see the ghost girl walking across the left window on the top floor. It vanishes and then suddenly appears on the bottom floor in less than a second. They scream even louder and take off again. Number 2, stay out of the attic. Back in 2008, a man started to notice some strange activities around his house. He would often come home from work to find his dogs cowering under the bed, too afraid to come out. One of his dogs would only come out from under the bed for a brief 10 seconds at most before going straight back into hiding. Something was intimidating these large dogs badly. The owner starts to hear banging noises coming from all over his house. He begins to look around. He eventually traces the noise to his attic and goes upstairs with a camera for a closer look. Everything is completely trashed. Boxes are overturned and clothing is scattered everywhere. Something has violently flung all of his personal possessions all around. As soon as he goes back downstairs, he hears another huge bang and runs right back up the steps. He puts the camera down and searches the empty attic for clues. A nearby metal bucket falls over and he runs out of the room before he gets hurt. Another object hits the ground on its own and the camera moves to the right on its own too. too. The
I got the
homeowner
fuck
was
out
too
of there
scared to
too.
look at the footage. He waited a week before going back upstairs to get his camera. By now, he is understandably quite paranoid. He begins recording everything he does in his home, and it isn't long before he has more paranormal evidence.
Boy,
One
not
day,
that
his
out,
radio
boy.
turns
The
to
sale,
static and a
you heard?
spirit orb rushes out the window. Later, someone violently jiggles the doorknob to the door that leads to the attic. The door opens and shuts by itself. The radio goes back to normal soon
hell no.
after. Things look to be going back to normal for a second, but then a paper towel roll suddenly flies up from the table to the couch, and the radio starts making more sounds again. The video recording starts to get fuzzy too, as if a ghost is causing electrical disturbances by passing by. Both of his dogs begin to look in the same spot as if they are following something. Whatever it was, the man was never able to physically catch it on film. He was only able to record its strange and oftentimes violent behaviors. Before we get to number 1, if you've ever been curious as to what I look like in real life, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT with underscores instead of spaces. I also have a Twitter at YT_chills, post video updates. I'd really appreciate it if you followed me, and feel free to send me a DM if
Turn off the lights and go full screen, because it's the top 20 scariest ghost videos of the year. Get out. YouTube user Veronica Shannon says that she has been experiencing terrifying haunting in her apartment. After hearing and seeing strange things around her home, she installed multiple security cameras. Things start out simply enough. Her cameras pick up some strange light anomalies and a few odd sounds.
All of a sudden, yeah, it's time to get up out of there.
Brawler! It's time!
Go away!
You are...
But then, seemingly after Veronica starts paying more attention to the bizarre incidents and telling friends about them, things get a bit more intense. Her 2 young sons start waking up terrified and screaming every night at around 3 a.m.
Get inside, get the hell out. Like you go see it, get out. Just get out of the house.
And things get even weirder.
Hell no.
Twice they catch some odd apparition that seems to appear near the door whenever someone arrives or leaves the apartment. It's almost as if the spirit just doesn't want someone new there. One night, Shane, Veronica, and another friend decide to conduct their own informal sort of seance. It doesn't go well.
Do you need help? Are you stuck here?
Move the camera if you need help.
Oh my god. Oh my...
Are you in the boys' room?
Shut up.
If something bad happens.
Okay, go out to the dark and look careful.
Hell no. People don't get a hint. They think want you to fuck up out of there. All these new ass guests put in me no baby hide and scream.
Shane
Get the
asks
fuck out
if
of
the
my house.
ghost is now in the boys' room. The children immediately start
Look,
crying their
I picked
eyes
that
out.
bitch up, took me a
But
shot of
then,
Hennessy
when
out
they
of the
rush to
ground.
the door, something is preventing them from opening it. They have to break down the door to get inside to the crying boys. You can check out more of Veronica's story and videos over on her YouTube channel, Veronica Shannon. Catalina. So everyone has heard of the Bloody Mary party game and the Charlie Charlie challenge. But this next video features an odd supernatural game that I've never heard of before. Two girls are gathered in front of a creepy doll. Each time they recite a line, they light a candle at the doll's feet. And it didn't go well.
Now, imagine it didn't. Certain shit you shouldn't play with. Black magic is one of them.
Apurame, le estoy pagando. Mi ahorita dice, harto miedo le tienen a apagar la luz. Mi amor, ¿y tú?
Didn't go well. I imagine it shit it didn't.
Catalina, vuela la vida. Lo que el diablo te da, el diablo te quita.
Oh my God.
Catalina, vuelve a la vida. Lo que el diablo
Did y'all
te da,
not
el
see
diablo te
Colombiana?
quita.
Catalina ain't nothing to play with. Like they ain't see
El
it.
nombre del demonio, manifiéstate hoy, aquí y en este
Regular
día.
fool will tell you
El
Catalina ain't
nombre
nothing to
del
play with.
demonio, manifiéstate hoy, aquí y en este día. ¿Ves?
Now this video was sent in by a viewer who says she found it on a random Spanish language website.
Fuck no.
I searched for the source or even a mention of this Catalina ritual that the girls are doing.
I gotta go.
Nothing showed up. So I leave it to you to decide. Is this a haunted doll caught on camera? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. Truth and consequences. This next clip was sent in by Nuke's Top 5 viewer Sarah Baranski. Now, this video is shrouded in a bit of mystery in that I just can't seem to find the original video. And Sarah, who submitted the video, says that she's also searched all over for the original clip with no luck. So, the story goes that apparently the woman in the video was working the overnight cleaning shift in an old empty house. She claimed that she regularly experienced absolutely terrifying paranormal encounters during her nightly shift. But no one believed her. So, one night after being challenged by her friends, she went to the house, left off all the lights, and live streamed the whole thing to her friends on Snapchat.
Right, I'm going to go open this door now. And you see some shadows, but that is me putting my phone in my other arm. Right. Ah! What?
Man.
God. Sounds like there's something in that bedroom. Sometimes it opens the door for you. Emma, if you're in there, can you open my door, please? That's the attic. That must have top of stairs.
Fuck no. Man, I'm gone. Yeah, fuck this damn, all that shit. I'm gone.
I'm gonna go to Philip's bedroom now.
Yeah, I can literally smell that shit. Mouth drop.
Now I want to go back down now. I want to go back down now, seriously, in a dead twatting move. Hello? I'm sorry for camera checking, but it's... Big mistake, this doing this cleaning at night. Stupid mistake. Right, I'm coming back to the stairs. Oh God! Oh mum! Oh, I don't want my mum because she's nasty. Come on, I'm gonna man up now. Well, not man up because I'm a woman. I'm gonna woman up now. Come on. Can anybody hear what I can hear? you hear it, Chris? That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Hold on, let me go. All right, just leave me alone for 5 till I get downstairs, please. Just leave me alone. Somebody's just said something to me. Who's on? Oh, I'm going to shit myself. What? Right, I'm coming out, wherever you are. This isn't funny no more. This is not funny. Off. Right, I've just shut door. Bed, I'm going to sit on the bed. I daren't move. Oh! Oh! I want to go down. What the was that? Eileen, I hope you're hearing this, and that Anne-Marie, I hope you're all watching this and that swearing.
What is a beautiful woman like you doing
Yeah, I know.
like this? It is better now.
I can hear tapping in that cupboard. I don't know where. Oh, I don't know where to go. Right, I'm going to go on to landing. Oh.
Time to pack it up.
What the
I don't
hell?
like this. Yeah, back.
All right, I think I've had enough. I want to go down. I want to go. Right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna watch because I'm gonna kick the f***ing teddy back. Water's running in bathroom.
Now, everything that's taking place in the video is bizarre enough, but what happens next is downright chilling.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. I've shit it. I'm going. I'm just gonna ask the little girl that's in the little bedroom. Emma, I'm sorry for shouting, sweet. Will you open the door for me, please? I have just seen something. I have just seen something. Right, that's it. I'm off down. I can't take no more. I am off frigging down. The things I do for you lot.
The woman calls out to a little girl ghost named Emma that allegedly haunts one of the rooms. No response. But there's a bang from a different bedroom, and when she turns, this. It looks like some pale figure that actually reflects the light is now standing at the doorway, but it quickly ducks back inside the room. And with this, the woman has had enough. She ends her live stream and just gets out of there. So, what do you think? Did this late night cleaner catch proof of her ghostly encounter on her Snapchat live stream? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. If you see a video that you think would be perfect for the top 5, or if you have a ghost hunting channel and you caught something great, contact me at nukestop5@gmail.com. Meanwhile, on TikTok. TikTok user Sabrina C. Coven claims that her apartment has a history of strange occurrences. Doors open and close on their own, and drawers slide open when no one is around. Then one night, Sabrina captures something absolutely shocking on her CCTV camera. At 5:41 in the morning, Sabrina's cat is quietly walking through the living room when this happens.
Scared the piss out that cat. I know that cat was scared. I'm scared. Shit.
It almost looks as if Sabrina's cat is thrown into the air and then dragged into the dining room. The cat violently hisses as though it's being attacked, and the other pets become very disturbed as well. Then a chair seems to move from under the table all on its own. Sabrina is woken up by the commotion and checks to see what happened. Luckily, all of her pets are unharmed, but when Sabrina looks at the CCTV footage, she is baffled. Sabrina says that it would have been absolutely impossible for this particular cat to leap into the air like that, because you see, this cat is actually missing one of its legs. So, what do you think could have happened to Sabrina's cat? Let me know down in the comments. Catch 'em all on camera. Zach from the YouTube channel Catch 'em All Fishing has a channel dedicated to fishing and catching reptiles. Nothing creepy or nothing paranormal whatsoever, at least until this recent video. In the video, Zach is exploring an undisclosed location that he calls, quote, an abandoned underground city. He says that he is trying to find and capture a python, as the large snakes are drawn to warm, wet places like this. As he enters the dark building, he immediately feels like he's not alone.
So, before I get too deep in here, just want to let you all know I'm looking for snakes right now, for pythons. And honestly,
that gets me to walk in the wrong spot now.
Feel like I shouldn't be in here. It's really creepy in here, and it's really big. Hello?
As he explores the dark underground building, Zach is a little jumpy, and it turns out he has reason to be.
Oh, yeah. Dad, get up out of there. It ain't worth it. That pipe don't wear good.
Zach hears strange moans coming from somewhere down the winding underground hallways. He decides to hide, thinking there might be someone else in there with him. Someone up to no good.
Wish me luck, guys. I gotta shut off my light. I don't know what's going on. The voices stopped. The voices stopped, guys. What the?
She who has rubbed the bottom will now be granted 3 wishes.
I wish for a new car, my dream house, and...
Eventually, the voices stop, and Zach decides to make a break for it, leaving the underground tunnel system behind. But later, when Zach reviews his footage, he realizes that he caught something absolutely terrifying in one of his camera shots.
It's leaking outside from somewhere. Hello?
The bizarre figure of a pale man seems to be staring at Zach from the darkness.
Oh shit,
Zach
no.
claims that he didn't even see the figure until he reviewed his footage later. However, he says that throughout his entire exploration, he felt like someone was following behind him. So, is this strange pale figure a ghost caught on camera? Or was there just some creepy person stalking Zach throughout the tunnels? You decide. You can watch Zach's full video on his YouTube channel, Catch 'em All Fishing.
You sure caught him up.
Learn after reading.
Goes and all.
This next video was recorded by a Jordanian ghost hunter that I've never featured before, named Mahmoud. In the clip, he's investigating an abandoned building that is said to be home to a powerful curse. As Mahmoud explores, he begins to find old crumpled pieces of paper inside the cupboards, but he pays them no mind. However, it seems almost as if someone or something is watching him as he explores the house's cabinets.
شايفين شي يا اخوان؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
And when he checks his footage later, he finds that there might have been yet another paper on a higher cabinet shelf that he couldn't reach. And this one almost seems to move on its own.
ما اعرف شو فيها. شايفين شي انتو؟ انا مش شايف صراحة.
And then this is where things become truly bizarre. Mahmoud finds a bright red paper inside one cabinet and decides to see what it is.
شوفي هون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شو هذا؟ انسان يا اخوان. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. خلينا نفتحه. كثير يصير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. والله ما بضل ولا دقيقة.
As he lays down the paper to examine it, the very floor beneath him seems to burst into flame. He makes a quick run for it. Later, when Mahmoud examines the strange paper that he found inside the house, he finds a series of strange symbols in an odd, indecipherable language. So did Mahmoud find an actual curse scribbled on pieces of paper spread throughout the house? Or is it just an elaborate hoax? You decide. You can check out Mahmoud's full video and his other ghost explorations over on his YouTube channel. A Cry from Beyond. Back in the 1960s, the sad story of teenager Sylvia Likens was perhaps one of the most tragic events ever to occur in Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, I won't go into the grisly details of the case, but suffice to say, Sylvia Likens met a horrible fate, sometimes imprisoned in her own home's basement. Sylvia finally lost her life, and the house remains abandoned. In this video, YouTuber Carlos Coy135 and a friend are investigating the Indianapolis home where Sylvia met her tragic fate. Even though the pair don't notice it, things get a bit bizarre almost immediately. The house is empty, but this.
This is a freaky ass house. I know.
Did you see it? When the video is slowed down, you can see that it looks like the curtains on the far left window are pushed back, as if someone is taking a look outside. But the house is supposed to be empty. As they walk around the outside of the home, their camera catches another strange anomaly.
What was the basement like? Where?
Viewers say that it looks almost as if some misty white shape is peeking from the window and then rapidly ducks back inside. But this is when things get truly bizarre. The guys check out the basement where Sylvia Likens was imprisoned for much of her time in the house.
This is the basement where the little girl was tortured. Dude, come here. This is freaky. As you can see, this is what the basement looked like. That's oh hell no, this picture is serious too. Dude, I ain't fucking. I'm not fucking. There's a picture of the stairs. You got to swear to God.
As they walk away from the basement window, well, just listen closely and see what you hear.
I ain't fucking. I'm not fucking. There's a picture of the stairs. You got to.
Now, some claim that they can actually hear screams for help coming from the basement. Here's the clip again with subtitles revealing what many viewers say they hear.
I'm not There's a picture of the stairs. You got to.
So I tried to boost the audio by isolating certain frequencies, but since all speakers and headphones reproduce sound so differently, this may sound better or possibly worse, according to your speakers.
There's a picture of the stairs. You got to.
The Book of Mormon. It helped millions of people have a closer relationship with God. But maybe you're
So, does Sylvia Likens' ghost haunt this home? Or are viewers seeing and even hearing things that just aren't there? You decide. The Watch in the Window. Hurst Castle in Hampshire, England was established in the early 1500s, and over its grim 500-year history, it served as a formidable English military fort. It was also sometimes used as a prison to hold convicts sentenced to death. So it goes without saying that the castle has seen some dark and bloody times. Many visitors claim to have seen ghosts and shadows in its haunted hallways, including the spirit of a long-dead monk. Paranormal investigator Tony Ferguson has explored the haunted Hearst Castle many times, and on each visit, he seems to capture something more and more terrifying. On this particular visit, Tony brings along fellow investigator Paul Sissel. The two men split up to explore the castle all alone. But for Paul Sissel, it didn't go well. Paul says that he felt as if he were out of control, possessed by the spirit of some angry entity from the castle. As Tony and Paul continue exploring, they say that they feel a strange and very powerful energy in one particular room. A small castle alcove with one creepy little window that seems to open to nothing. On his next visit, Tony comes alone, determined to investigate this tiny little room and see if he catches any paranormal activity. He sets up a camera to record and ends up capturing something horrific.
Yeah, boy, hell was kind of cool, man.
When Tony reviews his footage later, he is shocked to see a small dark figure with eyes standing at the window in the small Hearst Castle room. Now you might think that this could simply be a person standing outside the window, but it turns out that that would be impossible. You see, behind this window there is only a small gap and then concrete. The area behind this window was completely closed off with bricks and cement long ago. So then the question is, who or what is this? You decide. Haunted Holiday. Now this next clip is just completely random bizarre. It's not old creepy haunted house or any place that would even seem remotely spooky. This video was actually recorded by a Nuke's Top 5 viewer at a random Holiday Inn hotel room in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So, a little girl sets up a camera to record herself unboxing her new necklace. And then, everything just goes wrong. In an instant, a bunch of bananas in the hallway randomly fly off the shelf, the door lurches shut, and strangest of all, the bathroom sink turns on full blast all by itself. The little girl in the recording told her family, and they found this when they checked the camera. So is this a haunted Holiday Inn? Is it a hoax? And if it is a hoax, why does this little girl's startled reaction seem 100% real? Let me know what you think. Behind closed doors. Over on the popular Pakistani ghost hunting channel Hawklyfe, the team investigates a farmhouse that is allegedly haunted by a spirit or demon. While investigating, they begin to hear an odd sound coming from inside one of the empty rooms.
अंदर से आवाज़ें बड़ी अजीब सी आ रही हैं जैसे कोई बच्चे हों तो क्या है ये आवाज़ आई हाँ लोग हो गए मैंने से कुछ लोग की हो इस रूम से तो नहीं ना अभी तक कुछ हुआ पता नहीं इस रूम में क्या आवाज़ आ रही है ये रूम नहीं है इसको देखें तो शहरी में खोल के अंदर के हालात देखे यार ये है क्या बाथरूम हालात चेक करें अंदर के यार इधर कॉर्नर में है कुछ कॉर्नर में कुछ बैठा हुआ है यार हाँ शायद मेरे मोबाइल पे रिकॉर्ड हुआ है
One of the explorers claims he saw something lurking in the corner of the room. When they check his phone footage, this.
We're unstoppable.
Shoot for the stars.
And we can achieve anything we set our mind.
Gathering their courage, they head into the room to investigate.
भी नहीं है यार इसी में बैठी हुई थी इसी वहाँ से बिल्कुल इस जगह पे छोटा था उसका कद यार ऐसे ऐसे नीचे बैठे ना
Something seems to try to lock them inside the room. And then things really get weird.
Wow.
यार उस कॉर्नर में वहां से जो जगह मैं कह रहा हूँ दरवाजा यार ये जैसे पहले सर नीचे करके देख रहे थे ना हड्डी पे लगी है
Something violently shoves open the door, slamming right into the investigator's arm. Later, when they watch their footage of the incident back, they find something that chills them. So did the Wokiata team catch a real ghost or demon on camera? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. You can watch Wokiata's full investigation of the haunted farmhouse over on their channel. Come hell or high water. The popular YouTuber TechRax has been testing the durability of technology for years, especially the Samsung Galaxy series and the Apple iPhone. On his channel, you can watch these phones get destroyed in pretty much every way imaginable. He drops them from extreme heights, he crushes them with cars, shocks them with tasers, pounds them with hammers, there's hot knives, gas torches, and even a lawnmower. You name it, and TechRax has probably thrown an iPhone at it. However, when testing the durability of his brand new iPhone 11 Pro, things take an unexpected turn. He travels 7 hours to an isolated spot in the Nevada desert. He plans to drop the iPhone 11 into a 50-foot deep hot spring named Diana's Punch Bowl. For unknown reasons, this hot spring is also known by the name the Devil's Cauldron.
And we made it to the location, guys. I apologize in advance if it's super windy. We're basically in the middle of this desert. I want to show you guys the rig of what exactly is going to go on first before I even show you the hole. Now I want to show you guys the actual hole. So as I'm walking close, just a couple steps here. Pretty crazy, guys. You can see there's steam coming straight out of this water. It's supposed to be about 140 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, so you will burn yourself if you try like taking a dip in here, but it's super sick, literally in the middle of nowhere.
Now, the first time TechRax drops his recording iPhone into the extremely hot water, the phone comes out fine and the footage shows nothing particularly strange. But the second time he drops his phone into the Devil's Cauldron, things get a little weird. When he reviews the footage later, he's shocked by what he finds. TechRack says he has no idea what could have caused this strange underwater screaming, especially since his first recording didn't pick up any odd sounds at all. So, just what do you think this strange sound from the Devil's Cauldron could be? Let me know down in the comments. You can watch this full video as well as TechRack's examination of the footage over on his YouTube channel. Followed home. Over on the YouTube channel Ashes to Ashes, Dave and his brother Chris explore abandoned and sometimes supposedly haunted houses. In this investigation of a woman who says that she has been haunted by an evil entity that has followed her for most of her life, the guys pick up a very strange EVP.
Who's here? Good to see you.
too?
Yep. Is there anything that would like to, is there anything that would like to, is there anything that would like to, I'm going to ask you to give us a sign up here.
A creepy little voice seems to say, "Go with him." And Dave says that he thinks the evil entity in the house might have done just that. Since the investigation, he's heard sounds and voices in his home, especially in one particular hallway. And then, one day, his dog begins to act very strange.
Who is it? Who is it now? Who's that? Who is it? Who's down there? I'll show you that there's nobody in the hall.
Did you see it?
I'll show you that there's nobody in the hall. Who is it?
Some odd thing with pointy ears seems to be hiding around the edge of a door. And note that when Dave swings his camera back around, whatever it was is now gone. You can watch all of Ashes to Ashes Paranormal Investigations over on their YouTube channel. First ghost hunt, last ghost hunt. Reddit user Manda Burke and her husband were exploring the haunted Hillview Manor, an old mental asylum located in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. They had bought tickets as part of a ghost hunting tour group. Manda says they walked around, checked the EVP meters supplied by the tour company, but nothing much happened. Then they began to hear an odd shuffling sound at the end of one of the halls, but they thought nothing of it at the time. Then, suddenly from the end of the hall, they heard running footsteps charging towards them.
No, it's time to go. That boy fell over there.
Amanda says that the whole event was one of the scariest things she's ever experienced. Now, I should note that I don't usually show videos without some visible or audible evidence of the supernatural. But looking at the reaction of this group and seeing just how hard and painful those falls look, I think this is pretty compelling evidence that something came down that hall. But, as always, you decide. Deconstruction. This next clip is from a Chinese ghost hunter named Xiao Long, who broadcasts his investigations live on a Chinese streaming service. Xiao Long and his friend are exploring an abandoned building that is said to be haunted by the ghost of a construction worker who lost his life while working on the building. As they begin their investigation, creepy things start to happen immediately.
都能上楼吗？咋的了？我操！我操！我刚才看着好像鸡巴干活的。你滚他妈了个逼的！真的。 搁哪呀？让大家走过去了。
One of the explorers swears that he saw a worker dressed in construction clothes walk through the lobby downstairs. But his friend doesn't seem to believe him. He shrugs it off and they continue their investigation.
这屋里进不了，进不了，别进。哎！哎呦我操你妈的！ 我操！有人！操你妈！这上面全鸡巴那啥！正好我摆驴子呢。我操你妈！哎呦我咋来了？我操你妈！厕所里有人！在啊！在！ 哪呢？我操你妈！干着！哎！我操你妈！不对呀！你咋的了？你咋的了里头点儿？啊？ 我操你妈呀！
Again, the same explorer claims to have seen someone, but again, his friend thinks he's just being hysterical. Now, before we go any further, I should point out that unlike the Saudi Arabian ghost hunters who pray to ward off evil spirits, the Chinese believe that cursing and acting angry will scare away evil ghosts and demons. And you'll mean.
我操你妈！ 哎，我操你妈呀！我操你妈！哎哎！我操你妈！哎哎！我操！我在那屋！我操你妈！你笑啥？哎呦我操！ 咋了？操你妈有人儿那屋！死人了！那屋有人儿！我告诉你有人！操你妈有人儿！出来！有啊！真有人！哎呦我操我！你过来！出来！就是他！我操你妈！出来！操你妈的！谁？我操！哎呦我操你！你过来！ 你们过去，我怎么不敢去？出来！操你妈！ 出这屋吗？谁？出来！哎！我操！我操你妈！你出来！我操你妈的！门后边儿吗？出来！
And yet again, one of the explorers sees what looks like a man in a red hard hat peering from behind a door. This time, he even manages to capture it on camera. But yet again, his friend doesn't believe him. That is, until everything suddenly takes a terrifying turn.
I want to 我操你妈！我去你妈的逼了！回来！操你妈的！操你妈了个逼！我去！啊！哎呀！跑你别他妈跑！
As they make their escape, the building seems to be crashing down all around them. One of them falls right through an open hole in the floor. Luckily, they eventually manage to make it outside the building to safety. So, what do you think? Did they catch extreme footage of an angry construction worker ghost on their live stream? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. Frozen with fear. Years ago, Tyler Rowe worked in a Kroger grocery store in Powell, Tennessee. He claims that every morning at exactly 9:02 a.m., the staff witnessed this at the warehouse freezer door.
Freezer's better than rest. Here comes. Is there a light? Is there a light in here? And there's nothing in here. There's nothing, nobody, anything. It's just open.
Tyler says that it was every morning like clockwork. At 9:02 a.m., there was banging on the warehouse freezer, and then the door would swing open on its own. But there was no one inside.
Here comes.
So 2 months ago, someone named Emily claimed in the video's comments that she currently worked at the same Kroger grocery store, and that the strange occurrence still happened, even though the store had recently replaced the freezer door. She says that the freezer door still slams open and closed, all on its own.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if you actually sat down and talked with missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Well, the answer depends on you. What do you want to talk about?
Meanwhile, on TikTok, Andy Sauce's Kamasay is trying to record a video for TikTok when he spots truly chilling. The face of a little girl seems to be peeking out at Andy from behind his wardrobe. However, when Andy checks the area, no one there. Not only is there no one in the space, but Andy demonstrates in a follow-up video how no one could have even been sitting in this narrow area to begin with.
Voy a aclarar algunos youtubers que en esta parte de aquí atrás, en esta parte, sí hay un espacio, pero un espacio donde cae mi puño. Y aquí, supuestamente fue donde apareció la cabeza. Lo malo que esta huevadita, este troperito aquí, es bien pesado.
So, what do you think? Is this the ghost of a little girl, or is it just a very good fake? Let me know down in the comments. The Watcher in the Window. Over on the YouTube ghost hunting channel, The Haunted Side, lead investigator Patrick and his cameraman Jason are investigating the supposedly very haunted Cleanwater Demon House in Reno, Nevada. According to local legend, many people have lost their lives in the house, and the property is said to have been home to occult activity for years. As Patrick and Jason investigate, they experience many strange occurrences.
Region.
Oh, I got dizzy there for a second.
Home. Central.
Oh, it's so cold right here.
Yeah, it just got real cold.
Oh. Who's in here?
Ambition.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Applet.
As Patrick says, "Who's in here?" without even noticing, he picks up a small voice, almost like a child, whispering, "Me."
Who's in here? What the f? What the f? Footsteps right above us.
The guys hear bizarre noises from upstairs and head up to investigate. As they are checking out the upper floor, some truly creepy things are happening on the floor below.
If you walk closer to this machine right here, it'll let us know that you're there. Can you come just a little bit closer? Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you see that?
After reviewing the footage, we could find no explainable reason that bike should have fallen over, so we decide to regroup and head back upstairs.
Upstairs EVP session. Is there somebody up here with me? Whoa! Dude!
Is that you?
No.
What the f?
But throughout the whole investigation, there's something even more chilling going on. Something that the guys don't even realize.
I don't know what it is about that staircase, but it just doesn't feel good. What was that?
What?
Patrick catches an unexplained shadow figure looming in a doorway, as if staring out at them. Even more bizarre, they have a second camera filming inside, and as you can see, there's no one there.
Feel good. What was that?
What?
I don't think that was a shadow. It was on the other side of that window.
But it gets even creepier. They don't realize it, but this strange dark figure seems to be watching over them throughout their investigation.
I'm gonna move the volume down like a smidgen. Just tell me when.
Okay.
When it's not feeding back like that. Smidgen. Just tell me when it's not feeding back like that.
What's especially creepy about this figure is it appears there and then a second later disappears from that window.
To watch The Haunted Side's full 2-part investigation of the Cleanwater Demon House, as well as their other weekly paranormal investigations, check out their YouTube channel. It follows. Nuke's top 5 viewer MK1 worked overnight security at a brewery. He says that one of his co-workers always claimed to experience spooky occurrences around the factory, but MK1 never believed him. Until this night. On this particular night, his friend says that he felt that something was watching him, maybe even following him around the brewery as he went on his nightly rounds.
Oh, that's so mad.
You can see that the guy checks behind him several times, almost as if he expects to see something there. But as he turns to walk away, that is when some odd misty shape can be seen following behind. Needless to say, after this video, MK1 never doubted his friend again. And also needless to say, they were both chilled to the core by this strange video apparition. Even creepier, MK1 says that soon after seeing this video with his own eyes, even he began to experience bizarre occurrences around the factory. The John Lowe Murder House. In 2014, 82-year-old dog breeder John Lowe's mind just seemed to snap one night. In a fit of rage, he tragically ended the lives of his 66-year-old girlfriend Christine Lee and her daughter Lucy at his family home in Surrey, England. Lucy was somehow able to call the authorities moments before she lost her life, and John Lowe was arrested for his crimes shortly thereafter. The sudden, strange, and brutal act shocked the entire country. Since the tragedy, the house has been left completely abandoned. Paranormal investigator Simon from the YouTube channel Ghost Raiders went to what locals now call the quote, John Lowe Murder House. His intent was to try to make contact with the spirits of the victims who are still believed to haunt the scene of the crime. Together with YouTube ghost hunters Proving Demons, they try to communicate with Christine and her daughter Lucy using a spirit box. Their questions get some very strange and eerily accurate responses.
Is Lucy here? If Lucy is also here, can you say Lucy?
Lucy, whoa, that was instant and clear. Lucy is with us.
Are you here in this room with us, yes or no?
The shocking spirit box replies seem to acknowledge that Lucy and her mother might be trying to make contact with the paranormal investigators. But things get even stranger when Olivia from Proving Demons claims that she feels something touching her back.
Hold on now.
Could it be a car on the road?
It
Did
sounded
you just
behind
grab
me.
my back?
No, I didn't grab your back. Why? Video?
No, seriously, did you just grab my back?
I swear.
No,
I swear I
Like,
didn't touch you.
that was hard.
Andrew was
I
holding,
didn't touch you.
Andrew was holding with the hand that he would grab your back. The camera.
And my other hand's in my
His other hand
pocket.
is in his pocket. There was nothing that he
Well,
could have grabbed his back with.
Unless my jacket was halfway up my back, something just pulled it.
Did you see it? Right before Olivia says something grabbed her back, a small light enveloped by a strange translucent mist seems to rise up and away from her. This bizarre light or mist was not even noticed by any of the explorers.
Hold on now.
Could it be a car on the road?
It
Did you
sounded
just
behind
grab
me.
my back?
No, I didn't grab your back. Why?
After Simon uploaded the video to the Ghost Raiders channel, keen-eyed YouTube viewers pointed out the very strange phenomenon. Now, I have to say that this clip is one of the more compelling pieces of paranormal footage that I've seen, because being able to fake this mist, time it perfectly, and then this very real reaction from Olivia when she says her back is touched, well, it all seems very hard to fake. But of course, I could be wrong. Let me know what you think.
This is you, saving for your kiddo. With Acorns, it's easy to save and invest. Use the app or the card to invest, make...
Did you sit? YouTuber Eric Gunner is an urban explorer and a paranormal investigator from Mexico. Videos, Eric claims that a girl named Natalie contacted him about some very strange activity in her home. Natalie, who appears in the video with a teddy bear face in her identity, says that her mother recently rented the upstairs apartment in their house to an elderly woman. Natalie says that assumed that strange things started